Hey guys, Sean again, Custom Offsets TV. We got this badass 2016 Platinum Super Duty. He bought it, brought it off the lot once again, dumped it off at us and let us just dream up. Worked with him. Offsets Garage absolutely killed it on this build. Let's go check this thing out. Roll it through the wood and it flexed out. Rims so big and the windows black. Got the knob all lit up, double chromed out stacks. Yeah, we love to get them dirty, but still they so clean. Custom Offsets team stands as the team. We on top of it now, we ain't never gonna fade. So you better get ready, we're taking over the game. Hey guys, like I said, we got this 2016 Platinum. Let me take a minute first, introduce you to my buddy Handz Onn. He's gonna kind of join us from time to time, mainly because I'm getting bored just hanging out here talking about trucks by myself. And this guy doesn't know much, just in general, but even less about wheels, tires, and all that stuff. So as he comes up with ideas, he'll hit me with those. He's also gonna read your comments and bring some of your questions that you're bringing up constantly out so that we can kind of figure out what you guys wanna know and how much more detail you wanna hear. But like I said, we got a 2016 Platinum. This guy pretty much bought it, brought it into us right away, and we just started dreaming with him. He wanted to stick with a wheel and tire package that stayed within the pocket style fenders once we added those. So what we went with is a 20x10. This is the new Fuel Assault. This thing hasn't been out that long, and I'm absolutely in love with it. If you come and look at it, kind of get this angle, Junior. If you look at it here, you'll notice that the profile of it is that the spokes come out past the lip of the wheel, which is a very unique design, and you see on a lot of the high-end forged type wheels. This is a typical cast wheel. The price point is perfect on it. It's got the machined edges in a gloss black, and I believe it also comes in a matte black. This is a 20x10 -19, but as you can tell, I'm not going to be able to do the lip test. You know what? We could probably measure that spoke.
How would you go about finding out the lip like that with something like this?
I think, yeah, because this isn't what I would call a lip wheel, I would call this a spoke wheel. I think you would mainly look at, you know, how much spoke do you have coming out past that center. So almost like the same thing with the lip. You're looking at like a 4-inch spoke coming out past the flush of that wheel. So to me, I think it's more about the concavity is what we typically call it in spoke wheels. This is super popular in the car world, as a lot of you know, but it's all about how much concavity, how much dish that you have then in the spoke versus the lip. So like I said, 20x10, -12 or -19, I believe. They make them in two sizes. The -24 would be a little bit more aggressive yet. But like I said, he wanted to try to stay somewhat inside the fender flare by the time he was done with that. This truck comes stock with about a 35-inch tire. So we knew by doing a little research in our gallery that we could pull off a 35 12.5. And this is that Open Country RT, I'm sorry. Again, this is a step up as aggression goes from the RT. So this is the hybrid between a mud tire and an all-terrain.
I like the fact that the wheel gives an illusion that it's out further, but if you look at it down the front, it's pretty flush with the tire. I mean, like if you're looking at it from this way, it looks like they're just way out
like
there.
The spokes are way out here. Yep.
They look like spikes almost, you know.
But with a 10-inch wide wheel and a 12.5-inch wide tire, it gives it enough bulge.
Yeah.
He almost, if he hit a curb, he will almost be protected. You know, if this was a 12 wide with a stretch 12.5 tire, these would definitely be exposed. And if you ever catch a curb. But I mean, most wheels are getting that way, and most guys are okay with that. They just know to watch out McDonald's drive-thrus and whatnot. So because this comes pretty much with 35s, even with that more aggressive 10-inch wide -19, remember, negative pushes it out. So that's the offset, reducing the back spacing on the backside, pushing everything out. It still fits. All we had to trim was the inside liner. And this is a stock suspension, absolutely nothing done to the suspension at all, not even a leveling kit. So this one is completely stock as far as suspension goes. And like I said, we added the pocket style fender flares. That was something we had to have custom painted. This is a real custom, I believe it's called a shadow black or something like that. It's got a blue pearl in it. It's got a pearl paint to it. So this had to get custom painted. The ones that you'll see on like Bushwhacker and whatnot come more of a standard black. They have a couple of colors, but we did not see where they had the pearl colors. So we had this painted locally by one of our partners. From there, we also were going to paint the grille. We ended up going with vinyl on that. And then for The rest of the color match, he wanted to go with tint on these. So these used to be a bright orange. So these are tinted with vinyl, and same thing with up on the cab lights.
Is there an actual reason why you went with wrap instead of the paint?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we originally were gonna paint this. What we're being told by a lot of the painters is when it's this plastic chrome, adhesion becomes a serious problem, and longevity is even more of a problem. And what we're finding is with some of the really good vinyl wrappers, they can get it to look just like paint, and this still has a 5 to 7 year on it, and it's significantly less expensive. So they're able to go in there and wrap that whole surround, because he only wanted the outside, which obviously you'd have had to tape all that off and paint it anyways, and then you start running into adhesion issues. I know with our big truck CO2, we actually, the paint keeps popping off. We've had 2 painters paint it 12 times now, and we can't get it to adhere to that chrome.
Yeah, and it would be easier to just re-wrap it.
Vinyl, I mean, yeah, vinyl's a done deal. You wrap it on there, they heat shrink it. If you ever got into that, you'd see it's pretty sweet process. And then removing it, you can remove it and you still have the factory chrome.
Yeah.
So it's undoable, and paint would not be undoable.
And it would be easier to wrap it, you know, twice than get it painted.
Absolutely.
6 times.
Yep.
And cheaper too.
Yep. Yeah. It's about, I think it came out to be about half the price of paint.
Yeah.
By wrapping that. And then same concept with the tint up there. You could spray that, but that's forever, and you've got to mask it all off and mess with all that. A lot of guys use VHT and different kind of print. They were able to wrap that fairly inexpensive. I think the whole wrap job was, I think $700 or something like that.
So those are actually vinyl wrapped.
Yeah, it's a tint / wrap. It depends on what application, but that's kind of a tint that they're using on those. And then again, heat shrunk it so that it's nice and tight,
yeah,
no seam.
Most of the time you just see tint just on a window, you know, side window.
And then same thing, we tinted the fronts to match the factory back. I believe that's a 20% tint, and then added the NFAB step tubes on there. Like I said, this thing came to us totally stock. He was looking for that look where it's aggressive, but he's not going to have to wash it every single time. I believe he does construction, and he's on the job sites on a regular basis. So overall, turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous truck. This is what, yep, yep, all that is stock. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, we're starting to see a lot of at Offset's Garage. A lot of guys bringing the brand new vehicles and basically restyling it to make it their own. So Appleton, Wisconsin, again, that's where this one was built, and we'll keep bringing you more and more vehicle spotlights. Like I said, 2016 Platinum, super cool deal. Stock suspension, 20x10 -19s, and some 35 12.5 Toyos. They killed it. Sweet truck. Let us know if you have any questions, and this guy will be your sponsor and ask. Peace.